Okay. Hi, everybody. How are you? So, probably wondering what crazy stuff we're going to talk about, and there is a lot of crazy stuff to talk about. But, what do they say? The truth is stranger than fiction, obviously, right? We know that here on YouTube it certainly is. In life it certainly is. In true crime it certainly is as well. And when they say you can't make this stuff up, yeah, that fits. I mean, just look at the Adelsons. That's got everything in a Lifetime movie and then some, right? And I'm sure that will be a great movie. I'm surprised they haven't made it yet. Who will play Donna Adelson? I don't know. Who will play Donna Adelson? Melanie Griffith? I don't know. Who will play Charlie Adelson? I don't know, but I can see it. I can see that movie in all its low budget glory on Lifetime. But anyway, it would make a great movie, but it's not finished yet. We don't know what's going on with Donna. Donna's really going to go for this whole trial. And if you missed, Charlie got sentenced today. And he was looking rather rough. Charlie was. And he got his fingerprints done. And you know what? If you've always wanted to see Charlie's fingerprints, well, boy, you can see them really easily. And I think, hold on. I can oblige you on his, I just had his, whatchamacallit, Charlie Adelson. Where did I put your little thing, Charlie? Hang on. Charlie. Where did I put you? Oh, here we go. I have to lower the zoom because I can hear you guys. I think there was something also filed in the Maya case as well. But I want to get Charlie's fingerprints because if you saw him, I'm going to have to go into the database again. The database? You can't be serious, right? You can't be. Surely you can't be serious. Please don't call me Shirley. Okay, come on. All right. Oh, hang on a minute. I have to lower the zoom because I can hear myself in the Zoom. You know what? And a whole bunch of records. Let's see. Where's my... Here we go. Thankfully. Come over here. You know what I find is interesting? Is that Catherine Magbanua and Sigfrido Garcia and Catherine Magbanua again, Magbanua, I say this, all still have every record on the site. And Donna Adelson has it on. But when you go to the cases of statewide interest on the leonclerk.com, you don't see Charlie there. And the judge said, oh yeah, we're going to put Charlie on there. And I'm trying to remember how I found him, because he wasn't there when they had everything there. So I had to go here. Let's see here, and I get his fingerprints for you and show you what his little fingers look like. Because we get Donna Sue coming up. And it's very odd. And then I had to go to state of Florida and actually search it in order to get to. It's just weird that it's not on there the way his other thing was. It's just weird. I don't know whether they've taken it down because he's going out or something. I don't know, because they're going to transfer him. Where is he going to go? You know, where is he going to? The same place Sigfrido is? Where is he going? Okay. So where did I find my little thing? I had it and I was looking at it. And I can't. I have to lower this zoom because it's making me nuts. I'm just gonna just leave it because I can hear it, and it's like an echo in the back. It's making me nuts. Okay, so, and I was here. Isn't this weird? This is weird. Oh my gosh, she can't find something. No, I can't. I had it, but if you don't want to watch, you don't have to, but you watch everything I do. So pull a chair around. I'm doing this just for you. Okay, sorry. Charlie Adelson. So, where did you find my little pretty? My little pretty? Trying to remember where I went. I think I went over here. Okay, hang on. Now I know how I did this. Okay. So, Charlie. You know, why is this giving me a hard time? But this is not what I wanted to this is not what the live is about, but I wanted to show you something first. And I thought it would be easy, and I had it all here. But now, of course, this wants to give me a hard time right now. I'm not worried. We can wait. Okay, good. Now I'm out of that. I need to restart my Chrome, I think. Do we have to restart? All right, so if you haven't seen today, I put up Charlie Adelson sentencing. There's also a watercolor video that's very relaxing. I am going to do some more of the watercolor. I will try to keep it more in the camera. I was doing it on a live last night, so thought I would trim it out of there and put it to some music. Let me see here. Chrome is trying to come up here. Be good, Mr. Chrome. But we got two. I'm just going to go right up. I'm not even going to see the live. I'm just going to go right away and Charlie. Okay. So crazy that that I had this. Okay. No, I don't want to do that. Let me go to if I can't find this, we're just going to go on. I'll find it later because I don't understand what happened to it at all. But I had all of his little fingers and it had his sentence, but they had something a little bit interesting with his fingers. But I just don't know what the heck. All right, I'm not going to worry about it. Let me get back to YouTube. Sorry, guys. I had it here, and I don't know what happened to it or where. Because it's not on the site where the rest of the forms are, which where the motions are, where the filings are, not forms. And I just thought it was weird that it wasn't there with Donna and Sigfrido's and Catherine Magmanua's. So let me go to the YouTube studio so I can get into this right. All right. Back in. Okay, it says my video is not receiving enough. Okay. I am so sorry. Hi, One Eye Blind Art. How are you? Hi, Video Real. Hi, everybody. Hi, Doors of Perception. How are you? Hi, Liza Ward. Hi. So what we're going to do is look at some strange things. And I kind of just lost all my stuff and I had to just restart. So crazy. It's okay. But we were looking at the case of Stacy Caster. She's from New York, Stacy Caster, and she was born in July of 1967. Do you guys know who Stacy Caster is? Do you know who Stacy Caster is? You might seen her on, we've talked about her before, definitely. Let me pull up a photo there. She met her husband when she was 17. That was in 1985. She got married, had a daughter in 1988. And then had another daughter in 1991. First daughter's name is Ashley, and her second daughter's name is Bree. And Stacy thought that her husband, Mike, was favoring the younger daughter, Bree, so she became very close to her daughter, Ashley. And she grew up around Syracuse, New York, which is a little further upstate than me, about 3 hours upstate. Now, Mike, unfortunately, he died of a heart attack at the age of 38. His wife, Stacy Caster, but she wasn't Caster back then, okay? She became Caster when she married David. David is her second husband. And her husbands end up buried next to one another. Well, that would mean they both had to die, right? Yeah. They both died. Now, Mike Wallace, so she was Stacy Wallace before she was Stacy Caster. She said that he had a bad heart and that he struggled with drug and alcohol abuse. And his whole side of the family kind of believed this, that he had some kind of illness that caused him to die. They saw him, not looking well, and he was intermittently not feeling well at certain times, okay? Where'd she go after Mike died? Well, where would anybody go after their husband dies? She went to Disney World. And they had a lot of fun. And then, they were like three pals, okay, together, the girls without Mike around. And she got a job at some heating and air conditioning place, and it was owned by a divorced man named David Caster Sr. Well, you know what happens, right? Let me get this. She gets in a relationship with David. And David also ends up dead. There was a movie about this case. She is known, if you've seen 2020, they called her the Black Widow, and that gets strange because there's another Black Widow too, but, what are you going to do? gets them buried right next to one another, and the police wanted to see if she would go visit her husbands. They figured if she really loved them, she would go visit them, right? And let's see, when David died, he died. Do you remember that? I know I'm all over the place with my ADHD right now because I'm thinking of the nurse, the prison nurse. Remember we did the story on the prison nurse that she was having an affair, and I'm not talking about the one escaped from Dannemora. No, I'm talking about another prison nurse. She was in the Midwest, and she was having an affair with somebody in the prison, and she went to kill her then husband using antifreeze, and she set the house on fire. And when they were leaving, and I have a video, she said something like, grab the Xbox, right? This seems very, very on tap with that, as if that nurse had been studying Stacy Caster, and I don't know why, because it didn't end well for Stacy Caster at all on in a number of different ways. Okay, number one, she was found guilty. Number two, she dies in prison, and I don't know. So David Caster Sr. had an ATV accident, and according to his son, he said that it changed his father's behavior. Because his father was married, David Jr. was saying, but he lost and had a lack of consideration after this accident on this ATV, and his mother, left him. And that's how David then latched on to Stacy. In 2003, the two of them get married, and she moves these two girls, Ashley and Bree, into David's house. Bree and Ashley didn't contend with David, who was trying to be like a father to them, but he was very domineering, bossy, and was clashing with them a lot, right? And so they married in 2003. It wasn't long, because in 2005, Stacy's calling 911. She's calling 911 saying that her husband had recently lost his dad, and he was pretty depressed, upset by it, and then he took a bottle of alcohol, and he went into the bedroom, locked himself in, wouldn't come out. And this is something crazy, because she says he stayed in the bedroom all weekend. So she calls 911. The police come. They're like, he's in the bed. Yeah, he's been in the bedroom all weekend. He's really depressed over his dad. They knock the door down, and they find David Caster, that he's face down in the bed. There's vomit all over him, and he's dead. Okay, she waited definitely that he's dead. And on the night table, there's two glasses, and one has a green liquid in it, and an empty bottle of antifreeze was laying on the floor, and it was in one of the glasses. But in the kitchen, there was something interesting. Now, it wasn't around Thanksgiving time, but a turkey baster was found. And guess what it had traces of in it? Antifreeze. So, not only do they find all this, but what did she say? That he went in there with some alcohol and, was basically drinking himself to death or something, but he had no alcohol toxicology. He He didn't have alcohol in his system. And he died from ingesting ethylene glycol. And that's, what is that? That's the compound in antifreeze. So, you know, the detectives are thinking like, well, wait a second. This is an odd way for this man. I mean, okay, maybe he's depressed about his dad. Maybe, you know, he's depressed. But why would he choose, if he was depressed in a house that had a gun, to do himself in this way, right? With antifreeze. Didn't seem the logical choice there. And Stacy was acting a little weird too. She seemed to know that ethylene glycol is found in antifreeze. But is that, I mean, there's a lot of people that might know that, okay? That doesn't necessarily mean she killed him. But there was something not so right about Stacy. Not to mention that her first husband died, but they're thinking that he died of a heart attack, right? Right. But no, they wanted to check out what Mike Wallace died of. So they had him exhumed. And the medical examiner found calcium oxalate crystals in Mike's organs. And what's that a sign of? That's a sign of ethylene glycol poisoning. So now you've got just this really unlucky woman whose two husbands die, and they both die of ethylene glycol poisoning, right? So Ashley is at her first day of college. And they call her, investigators call her, and they're like, hi Ashley, I know it's your first day of college, but we've got some news for you that your dad, Mike, he didn't die of a heart attack. No way. He died of ethylene glycol poisoning. And so Ashley starts freaking out, calls her mother, and I quote says, Mommy, they came to my freaking school. I'm freaking out. So now Stacy's like, oh crap, right? What the heck is going on? She knows what's going on, and that they're cracking in on her. So what does Stacy suggest? What do you think? She decides to go off to Ashley and pick up some alcohol. In fact, she picked up some watermelon mimosa flavored Smirnoff ice. And Ashley later said, you know, this is the first time her mother ever did anything like this, encouraging her to drink. And she said that the drinks her mother was pouring tasted nasty. But she would never in a million years think her mother would try to hurt her in any way. Remember, Ashley and Stacy are the besties, right? But Ashley starts to feel really sick. So her mom's like, here, Ashley, here's a pill. Maybe this will make you feel better. And Ashley goes back to college the next day, but then that's not it for Stacy. She calls up Ashley again, and she wants to have another drinking night with her new in college daughter, okay? And this time she gets some more vodka, but this time she's going to mix it with different stuff. She's using orange juice, she's using 7-Up or Sprite, and she used drugs, because apparently Ashley must not have ingested enough of the toxins the first time. So this time she drugged Ashley and then tried to physically get this stuff down Ashley's throat. And it was so hard to try to do this that she was using a spoon and like shoving it down her daughter's throat. Her daughter, okay? We had a conversation about this earlier, about how anybody can kill their children, okay? Because we were talking about Casey Anthony. I see, there goes my squirrel moment again. But here we are, okay? And it's the reason is because they're sociopaths, they're psychopaths. They don't know what love is. They don't even love their own children. So, yeah, they can do things like that. Here she is. This is supposed to be her best friend. And now she's called her again, home from college. She's drugging this daughter. And now she's trying to shove this tainted cocktail down her daughter's throat. But the younger sister, Bree, finds Ashley unconscious, in trouble. And she tells her mother that I had to call 911. And by the grace of God, Ashley got help. And she woke up, and guess what? She had a detective that wanted to know about a note, a suicide note. And Stacy's telling the investigators that Ashley took morphine and codeine and then wrote a 750 word suicide note where she confessed to the murders of Mike and David. So you see what this woman did, okay? She got her daughter to take the rap for killing both of her husbands in a 750 word suicide note. Let me see if I can pull that note up here. Hold on. Okay. Here we go. I'll read you the note over here. Mommy, when you read the letter, just remember I love you, and everything I did is because I love you. I'm sorry all of this is happening to you, but now everyone is going to know what really happened, and they know it wasn't you, it was me. No one was supposed to know about Daddy. I told you when Daddy died, it was all my fault. And it was Daddy was doing things you never knew about. He was drinking when he was at Pick and Pull House, and at Lisa's house he was smoking pot again. 2, I saw him. He was mean to you and me, and he only ever loved Bree. I couldn't let him do those things to you anymore. You think I don't remember how things were, but I do. And I don't want to ever live like that anymore. It wasn't fair to you or me. Daddy wasn't going to be good to you or be ever. He was going to be good to you or be ever only Bree. I couldn't stand it anymore. The cops said there was antifreeze in Daddy's body. See, and I don't know why this is so blurry, this notice. In Daddy's body, but did they tell anyone about the rat poison too? When I got home from school that day, I knew what was going on. Daddy was barely breathing. I knew he was going to die. That's why I didn't call you for help or anyone else. I wanted to make sure he couldn't be mean to you or me anymore. He died before I went to pick Bree up from school. I watched him, and I knew he couldn't hurt you anymore. And then we were happy for a while, just the three of us. And then you married David, and he was mean to you. He was mean to all of us, meaner than Daddy. And I knew you loved him like you loved Daddy, and you were going to let him treat you like he did, and you wouldn't leave. It wasn't fair, Mommy. He didn't love you or me or Bree. I never thought anyone would miss David, no one, but you loved him. It was harder than with Daddy because you were always home or with him, but I made sure he would never hurt you anymore on that Friday when David came home so you could go to the post office is when I first did it. It was easy. I asked him if he wanted something to drink, and I put the antifreeze. She calls it antifreeze, not freeze. See, this is the smoking gun here a little bit because that's what Stacy called it, antifreeze. And in this letter, it's what it says. It's antifreeze in his glass. And with some soda. He drank 2 whole glasses. That was it. It only took longer for David than with Daddy. Once I put the antifreeze in Daddy's Gatorade, it only took a day or so, and that's when he died. When you were sleeping on the couch after David locked himself in the room, I got the extra key because I knew where he hid it, and I put the stuff in his room. I tried to get him to drink some of the booze with the dropper thing, but he was out of it and wouldn't. I poured the antifreeze in the glass and on the floor and left the bottle in the room, and then I put the gloves back in the kitchen and got ready for work. You never knew and know all of the cops are saying all of this stuff about you to everyone you know and love, Mommy. It's just not fair. When you told me they dug Daddy up, I knew what was going to happen. No one was ever supposed to know, Mommy, and now they do, and they think you did it, but you didn't. It was me. When the cops came to my school today, I thought they had figured it out, and I was going to go to jail, but they didn't take me, Mommy. I can't live like this and watch what they are doing to you. Not anymore, but I can't go to jail for the rest of my life. I can't put you through that. I did the only thing I could to help you, Mommy. I know you hate me for doing what I did, but Mommy, remember, I love you more than anything, and I did it for you. Hold on 1 second. And I did it for you and for us. Please forgive me, Mommy. Someday, when all of this is over, please forgive me. Make sure you take care of Bree. She is all you have left now. Remember how happy we all were together, and you will be happy again. I promise you, Mommy. I tell Matt I love him, and I'm sorry. Tell Bree to be a good girl for you, and I love her now too, please. Don't hate me. Remember I love you, Ashley. So that note was found on Ashley's bed on the day that she was rushed to the hospital. It was typed, and it confesses to the murders, as you heard, of Mike and David, and that she did it because she loved her mother, and they were both treating her so badly, and yet, professing that her mother loved these men and would never do anything like this, and it's so terrible that everybody's saying all this about her, and it's horrible, right? So let me get a picture of what the girls looked like about this time. Because they're much older. Let's put that up there. Okay. So, of course, Ashley wakes up and is like, what? I didn't write that, right? I didn't write that note. And then what happens? Well, they've got that antifreeze because it's written antifreeze in the note, and that is what Stacy is calling it, antifreeze. So let me get over here. There's a lot here with the trial and everything on this one. I knew I probably back in 2019 we talked about this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, her story was made into a Lifetime movie. And probably a good thing if we could watch that on a movie night. It's called Poisoned Love, the Stacy Caster story. And it happened after Stacy was convicted and died in prison. She was in a 2007 interrogation, and she literally said in that interrogation, when I poured the antifreeze, I mean cranberry juice. But the antifreeze is what she called it in the suicide note that she typed up that was supposed to be from Ashley. And I want to get over here. Hold on one second. So she had her trial, she was convicted, and I'm going to tell you about how she died here. She died in 2009. Was it 2009 or 2006? Hold on, let me see how she died. So she was, it's after that. She was arrested in February of 2009. She was convicted in 2009, I'm sorry, of the second-degree murder of David, attempted murder of her daughter, and forging David Caster's will. Their evidence in the case, they had Stacy's fingerprints on the glass of antifreeze in David Caster's bedroom. They had a turkey baster that had traces of antifreeze in the trash can, and they had proof that she wrote various drafts of Ashley's suicide note on the home computer, not to mention both of the husbands, like I said, died of the same thing, ethylene glycol poisoning. The media went right in, called her the Black Widow, and but believe it or not, her mother, Stacy Caster's mother, believes that Ashley is the true killer. And Stacy maintained her innocence too, saying, I did not kill Michael Wallace, I did not kill David Caster, I did not try to kill my daughter, period. And I will never say that I did ever. But she died in 2016. She had a heart attack in jail. She never saw either of her daughters again, ever. And Ashley Wallace said, my mother was my best friend. She was, and she took it all away. I would have done anything for her, but she wanted to kill me instead. So terrible that the grandmother, make any of this make sense? It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. But me see if Stacy Caster's mother is still alive. Heck. Okay, so during the trial, right, Onondaga County District Attorney William Fitzpatrick said, I can't give you a reason why she did it. A 12-year-old who kills her father with antifreeze and then gives him rat poison because he's not dying quick enough, would it be fair to characterize that person as a psychotic monster? And Stacy said, I would not define anyone with a mental illness as a psychotic monster. But then Fitzpatrick asked her, why would Ashley show no signs of mental illness, and why would Stacy never seek psychiatric counseling for her if she was mentally ill? So they asked her that, and Fitzpatrick focused on an 8-page, 4,000-word statement, so she's very wordy, that Stacy gave the investigators the day after David Caster was found dead. The statement never mentioned Ashley Wallace being home alone and her father during the window of time that medical experts say he ingested the lethal doses of antifreeze. And Fitzpatrick said he was also puzzled by Stacy Caster's response to David Caster's fatal affliction, which developed from Friday to Monday when he was found dead, especially considering Stacy spent years working for a paramedics company. And said, you've lost 2 husbands to poisoning and you're not concerned. Your daughter is laying in bed drooling. This is normal, right, Mrs. Caster? And then that suicide note. You were typing the suicide note, weren't you? Fitzpatrick said, raising his voice. We caught you, Mrs. Caster, didn't we? With that little click, click, click. So one of those moments in court. And 2016, again, she dies. I want to know about... Okay, let me see here. I remember seeing this grandmother in an interview, and I think her name is, I think she just passed away in June. Let me see here. Maybe not, maybe that's not, let me see. The grandmother said she believes the granddaughter might be responsible for the murders. So that's great, right? To pull that out. And I don't Let me see here. Her mother's name is Judy Eaton, and I just want to see if I don't know if she's still alive. Let me see here. Thanks. Okay, let me see. Father was Jerry Daniels and Judy Eaton. I don't, let me see here. February 5th, 2009 is when Stacy was found guilty. March 5th of 2009, Stacy was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for the murder of David, and then an additional 25 years for the attempted murder on Ashley. But she died on June 11th, 2016 from a heart attack in her prison cell. Now, here's a direct quote from Ashley. I quote, "I never knew what hate was until now. Even though I do hate her, I still love her at the same time. That bothers me. It's so confusing. How can you hate someone and love them at the same time? I just wish that she would say sorry for everything she did, including all the lies. As horrible as it makes me feel, this is goodbye, Mom. As hard as you tried, I survived, and I will survive. Because now I'm surrounded by people that love me. I'm going to do good things in this world despite making me, in every sense of the word, an orphan." But she's still got a grandmother that thinks she did this. She's just horrendous, right? See what's gone on, how she made out, right? Where is Ashley Wallace today? Let's see. Okay, since her mother died in 2016, Ashley now has to live without her mother's apology, because she always wanted an apology. "I never got my answers because Stacy died. I know that I didn't do anything wrong. She credited with the help of her boyfriend and his family with whom she was living for the ability to recover from such a traumatic experience. And she said as she left the courtroom in 2009, she was going to return to a family of people who adored her. Of course, she said she credits a counselor, doctor, and loved ones with progress, and I quote her saying, "I would not be as far in life as I am if I gave up and turned to drugs or alcohol." And she was living in New York and engaged to be married and focusing on moving forward. So I'd say that she's moving on. Wish her well on that. And what a crazy story, right? Okay. So how many of you know about this? Jimmy, calm down. What? Jimmy's not even here. What are you talking about? Okay. I'm going to try to see what you guys are going to go on live chat. So yeah, and then that brings us to that nurse, and I'm going to look her up too. The one is the actress that plays her. Doors of Perception. What are you talking about? They look familiar. They made a movie. Who? Wait, who? Yes, they made a movie. Yes, I'll tell you about the. I just told you, right? The name of the movie, Poisoned. Poisoned Love, not Poisoned by Love. That's another true crime movie. Hold on. Let's see if they... Poisoned Love. Let's see. Poison Love. The Stacy Caster story. Stacy Caster weathered the storm of her first husband's death, managed to find love again with her boss, David. But when David is discovered dead of an apparent taking his own life, the police suspect some foul play. David's death mimics that of Stacy's first husband. Evidence begins to fall into place, and then her daughter tries, allegedly, to take her own life, which further complicates the investigation. And that is the movie. Let's see when this movie was made. We're here to the IMDb. It was made in 2020. Yeah, Nia Vardalos, right. Gotcha. Directed by Jim Donovan. David Caster is played by Mike Dupud. Ashley is played by Chanel Peloso. See where this is playing. A review says Lifetime is at its best when doing true life crime movies. Here the events of the worst mother in the world unfold in a straightforward and mesmerizing manner. When the facts are interesting, you don't need to mess about with the delivery. The courtroom scenes are quite powerful by Lifetime standards. The cast is well chosen. Nia is good, especially at the end, and the girl who plays Ashley performs well as a resentful teen and then a devastated daughter. So I don't know if that's where can one watch Poisoned Love, because that sounds like that might be. I don't know if I feel like I've seen this, or I'm thinking of another movie that's I remember seeing was it a Lifetime movie, or was I watching it on my iPad a while back? Something. I can see it in my head, and it's okay. Movie where to watch. It says you can watch it on Prime Video. It's currently available. Anything, I'm telling you, Prime Video is like the biggest joke. I was just telling Jimmy that. Anytime I go to watch anything on there, it's either not on there or you've got to pay for it. It looks like it might be on Apple TV. I don't know. It's one to look at. But what a crazy, crazy story, which is going to bring us around to another crazy story, which is the antifreeze nurse. So let's look at that one, because I had a whole video on this woman. I think that might have been a pre-recorded video or something. Was it something I did live reading? Okay, antifreeze. It was a nurse at the prison who was having an affair. She did something very similar, but if I'm right, she lit that house on fire. And I believe it was in Missouri or something like that. Let's see. Here we go. Missouri. See, it's amazing. Sometimes I think my memory's going and then I can just remember. Now, let's see. This is probably when I covered it. Back in February of 2019. I remember sitting at my kitchen counter when I used to sit on the other side of the kitchen covering this. I remember this. This was around time I was still covering stuff on whatchamacallit. So this is the other nurse. She is a nurse, and she has been charged in the antifreeze poisoning of her husband, whose body was found after an arson fire at the couple's house. 40-year-old Amy Murray of Iberia, Missouri, was charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action in the death of her husband, Joshua Murray. His body was found after a fire. That's right, it was December. Oh, look at that. December 11th. It's the 13th now. Sometimes when you do these crimes, you end up being like very close to the original date. But yes, I remember. It was right before Christmas. I believe her and her son went to McDonald's. I think that was the guys that they did after she started the fire, and she told him to grab the Xbox or whatever gaming system was there. His body was found after the fire on December 11th. The state fire marshal's office and the Miller County Sheriff's Department determined that an accelerant was used to start the fire, that it started in the master bedroom. Now, the autopsy determined that he died of poisoning before the blaze. Cell phone records indicated that Miller was at the residence 30 minutes before the fire was reported. She told investigators that she took her 11-year-old son and 2 dogs and drove to McDonald's. See, I remember the McDonald's. And she took the dogs. And she told him to grab the Xbox. And so, yeah, so one of them was like, no, this is in 2019. No. So he's about Ethan's age then. Okay. I think so. This is 2019, did I say? So that would make us 5 years ago. No, 4 years ago. Okay. Murray had been employed as a nurse. Now here's what she has the love connection at the Jefferson City Correctional Center, and she developed a romantic relationship with an inmate. Investigators examined recordings of phone conversations at the prison, and they identified the inmate as Eugene Claypool. Murray initially told Claypool that she didn't want to be around her husband and she wanted to divorce him. She later told him that they could get married because her husband was dead, and they talked about getting Claypool an attorney so that he could be released from prison early. Isn't she a nice nurse? Now, Claypool was serving a life sentence for second-degree murder, and she's right up there with him now. You know, a couple that murders together, I don't know what they do together. So let's see about what happened to her, because I remember talking about that. So let me get, now that I've got Amy Murray, let's see what happened. Okay, so you believe that pre-trial, Oh my gosh, she still hasn't been tried yet. September 18th of 2023, her murder trial is rescheduled yet again. Those wheels of justice, they do move slowly, don't they? Okay, for a Miller County woman accused of killing her husband so that she could continue her affair with the prison inmate. She is now 45 years old. And she is charged with first-degree murder, unlike her lover, who's second-degree murder conviction, right? Armed criminal action, second-degree arson, and tampering with physical evidence. She was scheduled for a pretrial hearing with a jury trial to begin on October 10th. Didn't happen. The judge overseeing the case rescheduled Murray's trial to begin May 14th of 2024. Okay, we're going to have to follow this one. Her case is being held in the Laclede County on a change of venue. Murray's accused of poisoning her husband Joshua back in 2018 and setting the house on fire. Prosecutors allege Murray murdered her husband because she was having an affair with an inmate at JCC where she worked as a nurse. So it was in 2018 and 2019 after the first of the year when she was then charged. So 2018, so that would be 5 years ago. Incredible, right? 5 years and she still hasn't even had her trial. See, this is what I mean. It takes a long time. So when people start talking about Koberger and when is that going to be? And yeah, it's not going to be for a long time. So I'm going to have to mark her down so we don't know anymore, but that's going to be a case to watch, right? You're still listening about the Black Widow. Yeah, these are the anti-free. Yes, she said anti-free. They are anti-free. The scammers and the haters want to play video reel? Oh no. We don't want to play with those people. Okay. Let's go and see. Antifreeze. So let's look at another case, okay? So here's another case. Stouty. I think that's Stouty family murders. That they were known as the antifreeze murders. And they happened in Missouri. So she could have, I don't know, studied this and Stacy Caster, because the Stouty family murders happened in 2012, where the mother, Diane, and her daughter, Rachel, oh, look, this is crazy, okay? I wonder if, well, were they all studying Stacy? I don't know. Diane and her daughter, Rachel, committed the murders together, you know? That's not the kind of family bonding you want to hear. They purchased antifreeze off the internet, and they thought, hey, this is perfect, because antifreeze is sold online, and it doesn't contain the added bittering agent that makes it detectable. So I guess they found this antifreeze online that did not have that ingredient in it and commercial chemicals that made the ethylene glycol poison detectable. Diane's husband, Mark, was the first to go. You, Mark, are the first to go. Then, 5 months later, she murdered her 27 6-year-old son, autistic son, Sean. And then after that, her 24-year-old daughter, Sarah. Why are they taking all these people out? I don't know. She had been poisoned, but she was taken to the hospital in critical condition, and she survived and later recovered, but she had physical and neurological damage. Diane was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, and Rachel pled guilty to second-degree murder in May of 2015 as part of a plea deal in an exchange to testify against her mother. And she was sentenced in March of 2016 to life in prison with the possibility of parole. So why did this happen? Let's see. Diane and Mark married. They lived in a modest home in Springfield, Missouri. Let's see if we can find their house, okay? Okay, now here's Diane.
What do you say to your daughter, who is...
Okay, so now, let's see. This again happened in 2012, and they were living in Springfield, Missouri. Oh, guess what? You know what else? Diane was a nurse. Just like our other Missouri alleged murderer. We have to say alleged with the other one because she hasn't been tried yet. She was also an active member of her church, and she was the breadwinner for a family of 6. Her husband, a local musician, was a Mr. Mom. She said that her children were like little professors, quoting her, and they all had their little special interests. So they killed 61-year-old Mark on Easter Sunday. And people thought he died of natural causes, which they chalked up to an unhealthy lifestyle. His bandmates said he had been acting strangely on that Friday night before Easter Sunday. He was slurring his words, skin appeared yellow, a ring of blood around his mouth at the time of his death. And the pastor at the church said he immediately felt like something was wrong. And I quote him saying, "There was nothing in me that believed it was of a natural cause. I didn't believe that he died of a stroke, a heart attack, or in his sleep. I just didn't. There's nothing scientific. There's nothing professional about my observation, but my first words were, no way. He did not just die." So 5 months after Mark dies, unbelievable, their son Sean is dead after he had seemed like the flu. But there was another similarity. He had a ring of blood that was found around his mouth. But an autopsy said his death was due to prior medical issues because they said he had a seizure disorder, according to the autopsy report. But third time, June of 2013. So it's not even a year, right? Because you have Easter. Yeah, it's a year, but I mean, this is going to be what would have been the third death in just a little over a year, in 14 months. alarm bells start going off. Detective Neil McAmis is freaking out when Sarah, the oldest daughter, is rushed to the hospital. Who's she rushed there by? Her mother and Rachel. Rachel, the allegedly helping her mother with this stuff, right? She was admitted to the ICU. She had a brain bleed and organ failure. Now, in the hospital, doctors are like, wait a second, something's up here. Okay, something's going on here. And they started to look at samples from Sean's autopsy. And guess what? Ethylene glycol was revealed. And so after Sarah was hospitalized, the police are called in, right? And the preacher said he believed, again, that not only was the father's, the husband's death didn't seem natural to him, but Sean's death didn't seem natural to him either. Jeff Sippy, Sippy, who was the pastor at their church. And ethylene glycol is not a typical part of a toxicology screening, and it requires specific testing to detect it, and that's why it was missed in the initial autopsy. But the investigator, McAmis, said that Diane and Rachel needed to come down. He wanted to question them. Interrogation tapes show that Diane admitted to using antifreeze to poison her family members and that she put it in her children's Coca-Cola and her husband's Gatorade. The investigator said, why didn't she bring her husband to the hospital? And you know what she said? She said, I hated his guts. I guess I just had enough. Sort of like on the episode of Snapped, right? Here's a picture from the Greene County Prosecuting Attorney's Office of Diane during the investigation. But in 2022, when she had an interview, she continued to claim that her husband had trouble with drugs and alcohol and that she was not the one to poison him. She said that her husband Mark was with some really dangerous people. I quote her saying, Mark was with some people that are very dangerous. People have disappeared. I was told in jail that Mark had been green-lighted. And that refers to a possible hit that was placed on her husband. And then I quote her saying, I'm saying somebody probably came in and gave him something. But before 2022, she never told any investigators, detectives, or anyone else that Mark had been associated with dangerous people or that he was in hard drugs. While the investigator was questioning her, he asked her why she decided to poison her son, who was autistic. And she said, Sean would be interfering with whatever I would do. He was more than a bother, more than a pest. Now, Rachel was brought in for questioning. At the time, she denied any involvement in the poisoning of her family members. A search warrant of the home recovered Rachel's journal that revealed she knew what was going on and was helping her mother to research and plan how to poison the family members. She kept a journal of it. When they showed her this journal, she confessed to helping her mom. They were both arrested and charged with the deaths of Mark and Sean. Both pled guilty to the murders and the assault of Sarah, the sister. Rachel pled guilty to second-degree murder in 2015 as part of a plea deal where she agreed to testify against her mother. She received 2 life terms with the possibility of parole after 42 and a half years. Diane entered an Alford plea, which you remember from the staircase, which also has an anniversary the other day or so, right, of that case. So crazy around the holidays, this stuff happening. But look at that other antifreeze case happened around the holidays. This one Easter Sunday started, but and it keeps bringing it around. You can't make this stuff up. So the Alford plea is a plea that acknowledges that prosecutors have enough to convict her without her admitting guilt. And in 2018, she was sentenced to life without parole. Sarah made a miraculous recovery, but has sustained permanent damage with lifelong effects. She has to live in assisted living facility. And Diane says about Sarah, and I quote, "I'm sorry for what she went through, but I'm sorry for what everybody goes through. I'm sorry for what I've had to go through." Okay, another one. Diane said she was sorry for what her family had been through, but despite confessing to police, she now denies having any part in the poisoning. At one point, she alluded to being poisoned herself, but there's no evidence of that at all. And crazy, so that's another antifreeze one. Let's see how many other antifreeze murders you have in this closet. Let's see. Here's another one. Mark Jensen. Now, so far, all 3 were women, right? And then 40-year-old mother of 2 was found dead on her bed back December 3rd. December again. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? That's around that Christmas time. And that we're in like that Christmas time right now. December 3rd, 1998. She was found by her husband, Mark Jensen. Toxicology results determined that she had ethylene glycol, again, the main ingredient in antifreeze, in her body, in her system. Investigators discovered the day after her death that Julie Jensen gave her neighbors a letter which told about her suspicions that she had about her husband, and they included incriminating details to back up her claims. But her husband was not convicted of her murder until 10 years later, when the letter as key evidence in the trial after police received it from the Jensen's neighbor. So this is 1998. She's 40. 1998, she's 40. 40, she's got young boys here. They're like 3 and 4 years old there. And now, unbelievable that we're looking at these cases, right? And we're finding the nurse, which she hasn't had her trial yet. We find the other one, which has had updates like in 2022, but in an older case, right? And now this one, would you believe this, that Mark was retried in January of 2023. Because an appellate court overturned his conviction in 2011 because they said that letter should not have been admitted into the trial because it violated his Sixth Amendment rights to confront the witnesses against him. Prosecutors retried Mark Jensen in January of 2023 without the letter, focusing on the evidence they said proved his culpability, including internet searches he made on his computer, and he was convicted by a jury following 1 day of deliberations in February 1st. Now, I think I remember this when it was in there, but I just didn't realize that it was this. Isn't that interesting? So that's another one. They say that he didn't show any signs of grief and was standing 5 feet from her casket with a group of men around him, and he was laughing and joking. It was so odd. Now, you can't judge anyone's grief, okay, but odd. Soon after the funeral, there were dozens of garbage bags on the curb. Oh my goodness, all of her belongings. He wanted to erase her. He was erasing her from his life. And then the neighbor comes forward, gives the investigators a sealed envelope. In it, the letter written by Julie, accompanied by a photo of a shopping list that included a syringe and chemicals. And here's an excerpt from that letter. It says, "I am suspicious of Mark's suspicious behaviors and fear for my early demise. If anything happens to me, he would be my first suspect. I would never take my life because of my kids. They are everything to me." Prosecutors claimed the evidence showed Mark had the motive and means to take his wife's life. And an inmate that was on the same cell block as Mark testified that Mark was aggravated by the prospect of Ed Klug. And Ed Klug is a former co-worker of Mark who testified during a work conference that Mark talked about hating his wife and mentioned poisons and websites that where you could learn about killing your spouse. And when it was said that this co-worker Ed Klug was going to testify, this former jail inmate said he called him a thorn in his side, and he said, "I wish I could just get rid of him." Okay, and then Kenosha County Courthouse, Wisconsin. So he was just sentenced in April. The month-long second trial ended with a jury convicting Mark after only 1 day of deliberation, which came as a relief to Julie Jensen's family and friends. So that's another one, and this time with a guy. Let's see. we have, it's 2:30, but let's see if there's another antifreeze murder. Let's see. Wow, there's many. Many current ones. A North Dakota woman. Say another woman. So, I wonder, you could take a poll, or is it women that are, I don't know, doing this more? Let's see. She poisoned her longtime boyfriend with antifreeze after learning that he would receive a multi-million-dollar inheritance and that he planned to break up with her. We talked about this woman. We talked about her. Stephen Edward Riley, 51, died September 5th. And investigators suspect that his girlfriend, Ina Thea Knoyer, 47, had financial motives to murder him. She was arrested Monday and is being held at the Ward County Jail. He started showing signs of illness on September 3rd. And that was the day that he, the girlfriend, and friends were at an airport so that he could meet with an attorney about this inheritance he was set to receive, which was, she believed, to be over $30 million. Witnesses said that Riley's health declined rapidly. He said he felt like he was drunk. He hadn't had any alcohol, though. He had stomach pain. He was unsteady on his feet. Friends wanted to take him to a hospital or a doctor, but the girlfriend insisted he just needed to go home and rest, and that he was just having a heat stroke. After about an hour, he was vomiting and appeared to be losing consciousness. The next morning, a friend went by the house to check on him and told investigators that Knoyer, the girlfriend, would only speak to him through a closed screen door, and said that Riley had gone around to a walk-in clinic. The friend went to every clinic and emergency room in the area, could not find Riley at all. And then on September 4th around noon, an ambulance responded to a 911 call that a man was unconscious. Riley was taken to a nearby emergency room, had to be flown to a medical center in Bismarck due to such a severe condition, and he never regained consciousness and died the next day, which would be September 5th. After his death, friends and family told the police that they thought the girlfriend, Knoyer, might have poisoned him. They said she had made comments after his death about poisoning him with antifreeze, though no test had been done to detect it at the time. A friend saw Knoyer throw Riley's belongings outside the afternoon he met with the lawyer, and they say that was because Riley was going to break up with her after he received the money. The coroner tested for antifreeze after learning about the concerns and found toxic levels of ethylene glycol. He had no alcohol in his system, and authorities found an old Windex bottle with bright green fluid suspected to be antifreeze, and they have found a glass beer bottle and a mug with suspected antifreeze in them. She put this not in Gatorade or anything, but she admitted to serving him sweet tea. She gave him sweet tea throughout the day on September 3rd. And according to the affidavit, antifreeze is easy to disguise in sweet drinks. Knoyer told detectives that she planned to split the inheritance money with his son because she believed she was entitled to half of it as his common-law wife. She was incensed when detectives told her that North Dakota does not recognize common-law marriage, and she would in fact not be entitled to a portion of any inheritance. She was charged with Class AA felony murder, the state's most severe charge, and that carries a maximum of life in prison without parole. And I don't know when she's going to trial, but that's another crazy murder there, right? Money kills, right? Money kills. Hiya, Heart Made Wise. How's everybody doing? Did you enjoy these? Let's see if you, I'm going to take a poll. Hey, One Eye Blind Art, I still don't have a request from you about my heart. Remember my heart? And a couple of people have requests from me. Christiane, Lady Elaine, Freebird, Shot of Poison. So please check those out. Okay. Alrighty. We'll see what you thought about that, if you found it interesting. Do you guys see the poll? Please vote in that. Please hit the thumbs up. Share the video out. Let your friends and neighbors know. Can you guys see the poll? Hello? Okay, I'll send it out. Okay, I don't know if anybody can see the poll because I don't see anybody interacting with the poll. Elle, can you see the poll? Heart Made Wise, can you see the poll? Margot, can you see the poll? One Eye Blind Art, can you see the poll? You had major surgery on your jaw on Monday. Oh no. You're having a hard time, huh? The shoulder, now the jaw? Sorry to hear that, One Eye Blind Art. I just want to make sure that I get your get you paid for that, and I'd like to receive that heart. You voted. Then you're the only. No, how could you be? There's only one vote, and there's 3 of you that are saying you voted. Mine shows 1 vote. There's something really wrong with YouTube tonight then. Mine still shows 1 vote. You're trying, Blind Art? Still see just 1 vote on there. Come on. I only see 1 vote. Are you guys able to vote? You voted? I don't think you voted because there's only 1, unless I'm going to refresh my thing. Let me see, because I only see 1 voted. I'm refreshing my screen. Come on, knock on our door. I see 2 votes. Oh, this is crazy. Who voted no? Pet Nanny Nancy. Hi, how are you? Did you vote no? I see 2 votes. Somebody voted yes and somebody voted no. Pudding said I can't vote. Why? What's the matter, Pudding? Why can't you vote? Pet Nanny Nancy. Yeah, something's up, Sam. You see what I mean? Something's up. Okay, now 3 votes. You tried, but it doesn't reflect my vote. Okay. Who in here is voting no? You can put down no. Just let me know. Who's voting no? I want to know. I don't want to talk about things you're not interested in. Who's voting no? Hi, Pet Nanny Nancy. Now there's 5 votes. It's YouTube because all your numbers went up when I refreshed. But not really. It's still only 5 votes there, Adventures with Beth. And I would like to know who's voting no. Did anybody here, tell me the truth, vote no? I won't get angry. I don't care. If you're not interested in it, then I'd rather not discuss something that you're not interested in. Who voted no? Who voted no? I voted yes, but I had a hard time voting. I know you sent Sharon the painting. She showed it last night. She said she really looked nice. Heart Made Wise, did you get to vote? Did you vote? Did you vote? Did you vote? Pudding said I enjoyed it very much. Well, thank you for the input. Pudding, I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Heart Made Wise, I had to go out and come back in, but I got to vote. Okay, only referral heart being shipped soon. Okay, I had a aquamarine, right? Heart, white and aquamarine. Yep. All right. The poll wouldn't take your answer, Pet Nanny? Oh no. All right. We've got people coming in to vote. Thank you for coming in to vote, even if you're coming in to vote no. Thank you for your views and coming in to vote. Okay, I thought it was yellow and teal. No, that's Christiane. I have aquamarine and white. Remember? Did you see my watercolor one-eye blind art? Not too shabby, huh? Finding it very relaxing. Even if they voted no, they still watched. Yeah, well, but I mean, I'd like to know. Like maybe we'll take another theme, not antifreeze, but you know, I don't know, what something else, right? The cases remind you of that OE. How are you feeling, Pudding? Didn't you have the you had the COVID, right? You feeling better? You've been sleeping a lot. Don't worry about it. I'm not in any rush, One Eye. Please, I'm not in any rush. I did shipping out tomorrow will be Scooter's skunk Avon bottle that Ruff bought for you, Scooter. And I wanted to keep that myself, but I sent it out anyway. And even though you didn't want it, and also going out tomorrow, Chris Ree. You've got a bunch of bangles coming your way. Beth, I'm going to try to get your stuff packed up and send you a request tomorrow. I'm at least doing a few packages every day. I have to do Sharon, which is a big one. I have Ruff. If you can hear me, Ruff, I found the canisters. So I get paranoid shipping those. I'm hoping that the other ones arrived in good shape to your daughter. I'm hoping that the ones arrived to Debbie D in good order. I haven't heard anything to the contrary, and it had been some time ago. So I am getting them ready to ship with your other tea set, but I want to make sure I have to go through a few things of stuff for your daughter, which seems to me it's going to be going in a large padded envelope this time, because the majority of stuff went to you in a box already, which probably you might even be getting tomorrow or the next day. I don't know. Let's see. Today is Monday. They went out Monday. Then Lady Elaine, your stuff already shipped. Big Mamu, your stuff shipped today. And White Angel, would you please, there's been a request in there for a couple of days now. And Jimmy is looking into whatever you said about that one package receiving fees. He said he doesn't recall doing anything differently on that at all. So, but he's been taking a look at it. And if you would please take care of that request, and then we're going to need to speak about getting this stuff shipped out, okay? Because I got to get this stuff shipped out now. It's quite a bit of stuff here. It's the holiday season. I want to get my family room, my tree up and stuff like that. So trying to get things consolidated, big boxes out of here. Christy Ann, I have quite a bit of stuff for you. I have to add some more stuff. I don't think I sent reminders on the request. If you haven't paid it by tomorrow, I will go ahead and add the things, like I'll redo the one that's there to see what I can add to that box and rebill you. But I'd really like to get that stuff out to you. So I'm going to do that, and I think those are my main things now. I have to get Beth, Ruff's daughter, White Angel, Christiane. I want to finish that tomorrow. The case with the cheater dentist who poisoned his wife with the smoothies. You know, yeah, he was a poisoner too, right? Not antifreeze, but he had those dental chemicals. I'm going to end this poll because I don't think it's going through, and I'm going to go look at the poisoning dentist, the poisoner dentist. And that's another, like, we can look at deadly dentists, right? There's a lot of dentists. Look at that oh my gosh, that horrible case out of New Jersey. The guy was a dentist, wasn't he? The one that Valerie Bertinelli played in the movie right after she gave birth to her son. And Ray killed her in the workout room, and they put the luminol there. He was a dentist having an affair with a younger woman. Maybe tomorrow we're going to look at deadly dentists. Would you like to look at deadly dentists tomorrow? That's a good idea. Thank you, Pudding. James Craig, let's see what's going on with him. No new updates on James Craig. Nope. But we will look at him in Deadly Dentists. Deadly dentists, deadly doctors, deadly nurses. Wow, we can have some great holiday content, huh? You thought your dentist was going to kill you? Oh no. I'll look again at Shot of Poison's email, Addie. You need Shot of Poison's email, Addie? I have lots of boxes sitting here waiting for payment. Well, not sure who they are, but I don't know. I'm going to try to get mine done tomorrow. Get that done because I have a lot of things coming up. The angles of death, huh? Yeah. So very interesting stuff. Is it time to play word cookies? I think it is. I need to have a pretty early night. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. That's not early. But I want to have a little unwind time. I want to do a little watercolor. All right, let's see here. It's the holiday season. Here we go. Nation, I just saw that. It's a nation. Okay. James Craig. There's going to be a lot of trials coming up in April through December of 2024. It's going to be crazy. And they'll be sure to have it right when we go on Celebration. Because they love to do that to us. They wait till Celebration. No, it's not too far. Time is moving so fast, Pudding. It's crazy. Oda Yasper. Tannin. Tannin, isn't that from Rosemary's Baby? Heart Made Wise, what are you thinking about that for? Okay, we'll see you this soon, One-Eyed Blind Art. Anon. Anon, anon, anon. Anon, anon. Remember that it says? I have anon. I have anon, anon. Oh, you miss hauls? Oh, let's see. When am I going to do one of those? I don't know when I'm getting anything from them. I have my watercolors coming from Amazon. I can do a haul on those. Let's see here. I have anoint. It's up there. See it on top? Anion. Yay! Yay! thought I had free over there. I had freeze, so then how about I have feeds? Do I have feeds? Feed, C, okay. So it begins with an R, second letter is an E. Oh, what about read? Thought we had that. Soy. Let's see. Nays. No. Extra word. Let's see. Noms. Anon. What? Remember that? Okay. Come on, guys. Soya. Oh boy. Soya good. Not that special gel candy soya. Isn't it soya? Soya. Oh boy. Okay. I'm almost ready for an advancement. Should I just go for it? Just go for the advancement? Just go for the freaking advancement. Let's see if I can hold out. Holding the board here to the end of the night. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. Um... Gotta get on my spin bike. Tomorrow I have to do it too. Back on spin. Hint, okay, hint. Bin. Mm. Judy, I was just thinking, is that Judy, Jujubes? I thought you left us, Jujubes. What's going on? You see nothing, Judy? You can't see the game? Judy, I thought you left. Oh, you're back from bowling. Hi. Hi, Bogey. How are you? Rob, let's try. Uh-oh, hold on, I missed it. Whoa, sounded like the dog from the Jetsons. It was, whoa, I don't even know why that happened. How about a riot, a quiet riot? Oh, you got a riot too there. Orbit. Did we do Orbit? What's the dog from the Jetsons? Meet George Jetson, his boy Elroy, Jane, his wife Astro. Rib, the McRib is back. I don't know. No, don't. It's not back. I don't even know. I don't even know how you have a McRib. It's not. Sorry. A boy toy there. P. Pro. Top. Yeah, right, okay. Oh, pity. Did we do pity? It's a pity. Pity the fool. I pity the fool. I do. Okay. probity. It's a little probity up there. Watch out. Sorry. It's a little probity. I'm going to have my advancement now. So let's see. We never thought we'd have an advancement today, right? But you guys are really... I feel like we just had this puzzle. One that was very similar with similar words, right? There's no N bully. Okay, I'm a call. Hi, Judy. I was asking about you the other day. What are you doing, Judy? You don't come by anymore. You make me think you hate us. That I'm not your number one anymore. It's okay, Bogey. It's okay. It's alright, everyone makes mistakes, so yes they do. Oh, I thought you were telling me to refresh, Margot. And I'm like, oh, how funny. Now there's the word refresh. Oh my goodness. That's so funny. Here. Okay, I advance now. Now I play one more game. See what I am. Next. I didn't get to celebrate my advancement of who I am. Oh, I'm a pineapple. Hey, that's very fitting. I'm a pineapple. Okay, let's see. Hey, Bogey, I got that. Thank you for coming in tonight. You're good. We like to play this game to unwind. Okay. We did it. Playing these things. Thank you, Bogey. Please come in again. Please subscribe and hit all notifications. We do a lot of stuff in here. I think you're going to like it here. Thank you for coming in. Anyway, we're going to go for the night. Love you guys. God bless. Prayers for all. See you soon. Everybody have a good night. Good night. Stay well. Be kind. Do good things. God bless. Love you guys.